getting paid.
Greetings and aloha. What's going on? It's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com along with
Robbie from Walking in His Shoes. And if you're
Walking in My Shoes, Thailand. Oh, okay. Ready? Take two. Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Robbie.
Yes, and we are going to have a lot of fun today, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings and thank you for coming by the broadcast. Because, you know, as Robbie says,
if you're not living your best life, you're not living.
Ta-da! All right, we could end it right there. So we are live on Live My Ass Off. We are live on Walking in My Shoes Thailand. We are live on both of our Facebook pages, but most importantly, we are live on the Spot.fm, the Spot YouTube. And so we only have a finite number of people on our channel right now. So we would love to increase that to a whopping 19. 100. Oh my God! Look at you. Okay, high five. And there we go. Okay. 100. Yeah. 100 every day. Wouldn't that metric be an odd one? So anyway, so we're here, and we're here every Saturday at 8 a.m. Bangkok time, every Friday evening at 6 p.m. Is that right?
Yep.
In California. Robbie's in Pismo Beach. I'm here in Bangkok, rocking out with my Bangkok out. And we got a special guest today. That's really, really important. We have a lot more talk about sort of coming to Thailand. We have some talk about like what's going on in Thailand currently, for example. And then the more important thing is Robbie, 43 days until he is home again, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a 43-day countdown for us. Last week we were at 50 days, which means if you don't know, our math skills are exceptional. So we are going to take your questions for sure. I'm going to throw the chat on here and say hello to a ton of people, not the least of which is, ladies and gentlemen, our buddy, your friend, my brother from another mother. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mitch. I'm so happy I could just not pee my pants, but I may still.
I please don't.
There's time. All right, fair enough.
There we go.
Robert Mack in Asia, thank you for coming by, my friend. And I want to say hello to Dave. Thank you so much. It's always great to see you guys. And basically, let's face it, the reason that I know Mitch is because of guys like Dave. Mariano is here from Kuala Lumpur by way of Germany. My mic is a bit overdriven, so I'm going to turn it down. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. As you know, that kind of stuff bugs me. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate that actually is what's known as constructive criticism when it helps everybody. Yeah. Yeah, right. So yes, you're short bus special, as we used to say, Mitch.
Right. Short bus. Can't say that now anymore. People get.
Anyway, well, you can where you're living. You could say it where you're living. Come on, the bus.
Actually, what's interesting, I have changed my pronoun to short bus just so I can say that statement, and therefore it doesn't offend anybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it seems to work for me.
I don't have to work on that. I'll have to find it. Anyways.
Oh, gotta love Thailand. Yeah. So Dave. No so way. Mitch is this guy who he kind of like is one of these guys that like you're at a party and you talking to someone for like 15, 20 minutes, and you look over your shoulder and there's this guy, and you can like kind of feel his breath on your ear. And you're wondering, why is he so close? And then you realize, well, wait, I'm at the Wombat. That's what's done here. So, anyway. All of you guys know Mitch.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah. Definitely.
Indeed. Oh, we got people watching on Facebook, which is good. Deval, good to see you, buddy. Or Dave. He used to be a longtime DJ at KISS FM Thailand, actually, as it turns out. Cool. Which will soon be rebranded to The Spot, which is our little logo right over there, in case you guys are curious. So to start off, though, what I wanted to do is I wanted to turn it over to Robbie. Robbie's going to give us his update as we basically get closer to him making this his home. Something that basically I've done, something that Mitch has done, and even before the show we were saying, oh, yeah, so what'd you do last year? And Robbie's like, oh, I went out here a bunch of times. Mitch first comment was, oh, yeah, I did that before. I came back and forth to Thailand 4 or 5 times a year before I moved here permanently. So, Robbie, give us an update. What are you doing, dude? It's day 43. Obviously, you're getting more excited. But give us an idea of some of the proactive steps you're doing to get your butt over here so you can hang out with Mitch and me.
So yeah, day 43, man, and there's our little tag thing right there. A whole whopping, 43 days left to come. So right now I am working on adjusting my career. So meaning I'm adjusting my job work-life balance to make it all happen. Let's see, the last update where I sold my car. So I am in a company car right now and driving that around. And as of just yesterday, my company, we stopped taking any new clients. So we're pretty much limiting to only very high profile clients. So we're not stopped 100%, but we're only going to take high profile clients. There you go. So we're no longer taking regular SMBs, small to medium businesses. We're looking at franchises, stuff I can do over there in Thailand. So as a lot of you guys know, I have a team in the Philippines, so I can fly back and forth and live in Thailand, still work a little bit. And so the update is, man, I'm just anxious to get there. Upgraded my flight, so I'll have business class. There we go.
How much more was that this time of year?
$600. So there you go. Okay. And if you guys want to see what business class is like on United, be sure to take a look at my channel, Walking on My Shoes Thailand. I have a business class flight to Thailand on my channel. Take a peek. And what's cool about that video is it was on the United Airlines YouTube. So they took my video and put it on their, not YouTube, their Facebook page.
Facebook page. Okay, great.
Cool. Yeah, I got a lot of hits on it.
Wow.
Because I made it all about the business class. It was pretty cool. So anyways, that's the update. Is I'm looking forward to coming. Business changes, and there's not a whole bunch, actually. That's about it.
Just get more anxious. Now, okay, so you mentioned that Mitch flies business class. Mitch, are you doing that the whole time, or was it just like your last flight over, I'm going business class? You did business every time?
Coach, baby, coach.
You're a coach guy? Okay, fair enough.
Because I don't sit. As soon as that seatbelt sign, I can take it off. I take it off, and I'm up. I'm pacing around the aircraft.
Really?
I'm hydrating. In my earlier days, I used to get plowed, alcohol, drunk. And
I can relate to that statement.
You're miserable when you hit the ground.
Fair enough.
So
I do get a little
I just
plowed.
hydrate, lots of water, and walking around, pacing around as much as I possibly can on a flight.
Okay.
So Mr. Mitch, I got a couple of questions. Where are you from in the United States? Obviously, you're from America. So could you tell us where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from outside of Seattle. I say Seattle because it's the biggest city that's near where I'm from.
The people know.
Got you. Outside Seattle. And what airline do you like to fly across?
It
makes a difference.
Okay. Oh, God.
It makes a big difference.
Wait, did we stump Mitch?
I've flown them all. No, I've flown them all. I don't have my favorite is the one that's the cheapest and it gets me there quickest.
Fair enough.
Which my recent flight a year ago, August, was Singapore Airlines because there wasn't much happening during the lockdown.
Sure.
And, I flew into Singapore from Seattle, San Francisco, Singapore. That leg was 16 and a half hours.
Yeah, that's a long one. Yeah, I've done that.
2 hours to Phuket. Had to come into Phuket, had to come into the country in Phuket on
Sandbox?
on that Sandbox scheme, right?
Okay, yeah.
So when I landed, it was in the beginning phases of that Sandbox scheme, and the news people were there, and it was, this is all, we're open, and
wide open. And you spent, because I remember we missed each other by about 2 or 3 weeks, because I was in Phuket earlier that summer, or our summer.
What year? Give me a year, guys. What year was that?
2021.
2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th of August, 2021.
Perfect. See, none of this bad luck nonsense on the 13th. That is good luck, baby.
And I came in on November that year.
Yeah. So I was there 5 weeks. I had 2 weeks for the lockdown, which I was free to go 3 hours after I landed.
Yeah.
To travel. A couple of hiccups in there, but nothing major. And then I stayed another 3 weeks because I was enjoying the island. There was like nobody. Nothing was open.
I know, right?
I mean, but I don't need bars and I don't need nightlife, right?
Beach.
Like
Man,
you don't
Sonoma
need them,
Beach,
but
that was
sometimes they
beachy
could be fun.
oh yeah, I do. I found my entertainment. I found my fun. Met a lot of people. Some of them do YouTube, some of them don't. Yeah, it was great.
Cool. I know for me, and I know I think Mike's also. I mean, like one of my favorite airlines is JAL. For obvious reasons. I fly mainly United because of business class, but JAL, I got to tell you, those are the hottest stewardess I've ever seen. Is that?
I mean, yeah, they're pretty good.
What,
EVA Air.
A lot of lookers. EVA.
Yeah.
I fly majority. I flew United.
Yeah.
United or like a connecting like Star Alliance partner? Because I hate United. I think they're totally incompetent, but I love getting points through them.
It was United.
Was it? Okay.
United, yeah. 777s. I love the bird. You know, now I'm into Airbus. I really like the Airbus.
380. It doesn't have to be that massive. Yeah. 2-story.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's strange. It's how something like that should fly. Same as the 747. But anyway.
No, it's amazing. It stays in the air. I swear it's fake. What happens is you get in this tube, and then Disney basically has green screen all around the thing.
Takes over.
Yeah, and they just vibrate it, and then bam, all of a sudden through the ether.
I'm not in Thailand, and I'm in a suspended pod somewhere.
Yeah,
they're pumping this information into me.
I'm cool with it. I mean, because they recirculate the air. Just ask.
It works. It's like Total Recall, right?
Yes. Right. Matrix.
The Matrix.
So have you, Mr. Mitch? Have you flown back since then? Have you flown back and forth back
I have
to
not.
the States?
In fact, my return, I made the mistake of making a round trip instead of a moving on leg, right? Like people do.
For $5 versus $500.
Yeah, and I got a notification, an email said, "Hey, it's time to do something." And I was like, "Oh, right, I got a couple of days, right?" Well, I didn't know what day it was, and so we were on the road. I got back, got on the computer, and I was like, "Shit, they can't find my itinerary. I can't find any of that crap." And I was like, "What the hell?" And I looked at the dates, and I had let it expire, so I threw away $800 worth of ticket because it was $1,600.
That's a lot of hamburgers at the Wombat, baby.
Amen, dude, buddy. That was a lot of money.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no, it's all part of it. I mean, I remember when I came, right? So I'm like, okay, this is my last. So I got 3 big bags, way too heavy. They're all crammed in there. I thought I weighed them correctly. I get up there. The guy's like, okay, well, you get the 2 bags. And those were like, 22.5 kilos or something, as long as they're under 23. And then the 3rd bag, and he's like, oh, it's like, 51 pounds or something. He's like, can you move it into the others? I'm like, no, dude, look, I'm moving there permanently. I really don't care what you charge me. Never lead with that, by the way. And so he's like, okay, well, it's going to be $350. Now, my one-way ticket, because I left on a Tuesday, $400 on Delta. And, but I'm like, dude, I don't care. He looks at my ticket. He's like, you only paid $400. I said, dude, I'm moving there permanently. You could literally charge me $1,000 for this bag, bro. I am like, so yeah, so, and no, gratefully he wasn't that. He had a little bit of integrity. But yeah, it was, again, you throw it away. You got to throw away something, but then I get over there and like Robbie's always said, yeah, but the minute you get to Thailand, you're only spending $2 for lunch. So you could kind of make it back.
Yeah. Hemorrhaging money when I left. $175 just to get out of Seattle because it was a partner airline.
Oh,
Singapore was using Alaska for that first leg to San Francisco. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We can't. I was like, come on, really? Nobody on the flight.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, but we're going to charge you anyway. $175 for that 4 pounds, I think it was. 2 kilos.
Wow.
Is that 4 pounds over, or is it a whole different bag?
I was over. All my bags were over. I consolidated, and I was still over. So I was like, fuck, it's only money, right?
And then you just like, come on. It's like, dude, I'm going to Thailand.
I picked up a bottle of Crown for James in San Francisco duty free, right?
Right, sure.
I get to Singapore, and they took it from me because the bag wasn't sealed properly. I'm like, the
bag.
What happened to your friendship with
the
James?
duty free bag?
I was wondering.
Apparently, wasn't sealed properly. I'm like, how do I? What?
You don't seal it. They seal it for you.
They seal it.
Wow.
I was like, well, they're testing me. This is the test.
And you're like, look, it's a bottle of COVID. I have to bring this to Southeast Asia with me because the Chinese, I bought this from China, had it shipped to Seattle. So close-minded.
Maybe they wanted the drinks, Mike's. Maybe they wanted the
drinks. They could be. Yeah, they'd be sitting there going, dude, I am parched. This is Singapore. If I do drugs, I'll get thrown in jail. I can't chew gum. Yeah, I get it.
Mitch Kitty says hi. Just want to let you know we got also a question for you. It's coming up here.
Kitty's going to be on the show next week, actually. That's going to be great.
She'll be on the show next week. She'll be there, but there was a question for him. There we go.
That fucking dump? What the hell would you go? My God.
I've never been there, guys. I have no idea.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Surin is that the only people that live up there like to wrap themselves in an American flag and show off all their muscles and tattoos. I mean, you got to watch out for that. Have you seen his thumbnails? Jesus God. For Dave's live streams?
I don't have any. I have lots of there and no, I don't have any tattoos.
So Dave from Gotta Love Thailand, he lives in Surin. You guys know this. But his thumbnails for his live streams lately have been freaking crazy. Robbie, so did you see the comment about your microphone being too low? So here's what you do. On the left-hand side there, right, on your picture, there's that slider. Yeah, you just crank that sumbitch up. And you actually need to refer to it as a sumbitch. It is not a volume control. It is a sumbitch. And so all you got to do is turn that sumbitch up.
It's all the way up.
And then I'm going to refer to you as Buford T. Justice. And then you got to say sumbitch.
Sumbitch. All right, let me check it out, guys. Keep
Way to get a character.
You were talking about something.
Me? Never. No. So Dave lives up in Surin. And Dave is a wonderful, wonderful guy. And so Dave, remind me, because Mitch, you're on his live streams regularly, right? When does Dave go live? Like every other day still?
I don't know. Dave, it's usually 8 a.m. I'm not sure what days anymore.
Okay.
I've lost track of reality. And to answer your question, no, I have not. I have not
been to Surin.
He hasn't been there. Okay.
I've skirted it.
He's going to kiss the side of it.
Yeah.
Just good stuff. Absolutely.
All right. Can you hear me okay? Am I still low?
Who made that comment? Probably Mariano, right? The fucking Germans, dude. They're just like, oh, yeah, sorry. You're 3 dB down, dude. I'm going to need a little bit more gain on the Robbie. My 20-minute Robbie.
Yeah, I don't know. Here we go.
My hearing sucks anyway. One ear's broken. The other's deaf. So,
I mean, you just put them together.
It is what it is.
You got your nose, as long as you can smell your way around Pattaya. Speaking of Pattaya, nice segue, Mike. The rain that's happening down there. Tell us a little bit about that weather, because I get that from a lot of guys. They're like, I saw on the news that all of Thailand is underwater. Yes, the entire country is flooding. False. Yeah, but what's going on down there?
I'll tell you what. If I wasn't on the 15th floor here, I would be drowning because it's unbelievable. It is so,
seriously.
Oh yeah, you can't. I mean. It's devastating.
Dogs and cats living together?
No, it's news bites, man. Video clips. Yes, there's streets that get. I don't call it flooding because, well, I don't want to adopt their terminology.
Flash.
Does it flood where you live? Does it flood where you live?
No, heck no, not at all.
You're on a mountain.
I'm on a little hill. Yeah.
You're on a hill, yeah.
Why am I looking outside? You guys can't see anyway. I can't project that onto my screen. So I'm going to stop looking outside. I'm going to go like this.
That's okay. I mean, don't put the blinders on, dude. You're not my horsey.
Is it raining now?
Here's I don't know how to articulate this at such an early time because I didn't sleep last night, which is kind of typical. But
because you're excited about the live stream. I get that. Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly.
Very excited.
It rains. Okay. We're at sea level, folks. The water goes to the sea. It doesn't matter how much wonderful drainage you build. Once those pipes are full, it can't go anywhere. So where is it? It backs up, right?
I've said these same words to my urologist. Different result.
Yeah. Well, you can get some help from a urologist, I think.
Can I?
There's all kinds of different. Anyway, back to the flooding.
Yeah. Okay.
Or lack thereof. it takes time for it to dissipate, right? And we're in a jungle, a concrete jungle here. I mean, everything is built up, and there's no, as far as I know, no planning ahead on where that water is going to go. Like when we build in the States,
Thailand.
we are required to do surveys of every freaking kind of thing. Where's the parking? How many spaces can you have? Where's the water going to go? What are you going to do? Blah, 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 blah. Right. Even when you build a house, not just a building, a commercial building. So it takes time for it to go. It doesn't matter how much state-of-the-art pipes they have in the ground. It still drains the same way, baby.
Got to go somewhere.
What are we talking?
Straight to the ocean.
Or Bernoulli? Who are we talking here? Pascal's law? Help me, Mike.
Pascal's triangle, yeah. No.
Pascal's triangle.
The Bernoulli principle of fluid dynamics is the one that I always like to relate. That's the reason that planes fly, FYI.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
correct. Yeah. So
just got to get a boat to go around town.
So in the interim, you have sewage water coming out of the pipes.
Ooh.
Or not going into the pipes.
Yeah.
Chocolate Man did a couple of great little Instagram videos of the water coming out of a manhole.
Yeah.
And that manhole cover's going.
Right.
Just awesome images, but it's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm. What I usually tell people is, again, like you said, it's going to rain, and it's Southeast Asia. So it's not, I mean, if you're from San Diego, it's like the minute, like we get like a couple of inches of rain a year, like literally, right? So if it were to ever rain in San Diego, and it has occasionally, like super downpour for like 20 minutes, all the news stations are like, Storm Watch 2022, will we survive?
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Catholics were right.
Vegas
you know,
is underwater.
Yeah.
The Catholics were right.
And I'm just like, come on, man. Whereas like here, so last night, crazy thunder and lightning up here. First thing I do, windows wide open. Gracie's not a big fan of thunder. I get that. But I'm just like, I love the sound of it. Love the sound of the rain. Love the sound thunder. If I could harness the energy, you know, because as you know from that documentary, it's 1.21 gigawatts of electricity, which will obviously power a DeLorean. So I'm thinking to myself, why can I not harness this energy? So when I'm on the roof with a fork, naturally, couldn't happen.
I go golfing. Yeah,
precisely. Yes, I mean, come on, Caddyshack. There's a lot of truth to that.
So, are the tourists back during this season?
Okay,
I don't want to burst anybody's bubble.
Ow, my bubble, dude! Relax.
Oh, it's back to normal.
No.
Tell us, Mr. Mitch. Come on, I'm over here.
Reality.
Tell me. Get me excited. Please.
Tourism is picking up. I'm seeing more and more buses.
Yeah.
With, I mean, you know, people, they employ the buses when there's people coming to town. So there's more buses.
Yeah.
There are more venues opening up. Everything from, you know, restaurants to reprobate places, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not back to pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Let's say 2019. Things were on the decline anyway.
Starting, yes.
I mean, from 2014 to 2018, they were on the decline. Maybe numbers were there, but businesses were closing. My experience, my eyes, seeing it in person. So
how long have you been there? You've been there a long time?
No, back and forth.
Back and forth. My first time here was 1981.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I was right. I'm old. So,
Jesus. Yeah. I didn't think
people
had
change, right? But I don't know everything. Okay. I learn something new every day. Just because I'm coming here a lot does not mean I know everything.
Okay.
It's just my experiences.
Yep.
So when you get off the beaten path here in Jomtien and Central Pattaya, there's businesses closed down, businesses shuttered. There's not the food lines like when total lockdown was, right? You saw that.
Yeah.
2020, yeah.
But so there's a evolution. Things are changing. People just left. Like, well, screw this. We're going back up to the farm. I mean, people migrate to the big city for work, right? And if there's no work here, why stay? So they go back. They, meaning everyone, not just ladies and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
So what about the traveler, Mitch? Because that's really the questions I have for you. Is kind of like, is still Jomtien or Pattaya the place to go? And if so, why? If not, where are there other options for expats like myself or wannabe expats?
Anybody that comes here, you're going to have a great time. You're going to find everything that you need. Everything that you need is open, right? All
For sure.
your services, all your entertainment, everything. You will find it. And you don't have to search very hard. So you can still have a wonderful time, a wonderful holiday, or a wonderful retirement.
So what would be the place to go? Like if I had to choose all over again, I mean, in your opinion,
I have no idea.
Bangkok.
Sorry for interrupting, but I haven't decided where I want to live yet.
I love that's great.
I mean, I've been here a year and I'm still, I don't want to use the term vacillating. I'm still trying to
vacillating.
You'll go blind doing that, Mitch. Didn't your dad tell you that?
I do until I just need glasses.
Oh, I thought you said Vaseline-lated.
Vaseline lady?
I haven't been to, hello, Brock. I haven't been to, I'm looking at Matt Tech's Cambodia, ? I'd love to go to Cambodia again. I haven't been to Cambodia since pre-COVID. And there's some stuff I want to do, mainly temples.
Yep.
Is it open? Is Cambodia all opened up?
Big time.
Yeah. There's a lot of promotion.
Yeah.
Come one, come all. Yeah.
They were actually one of the first countries in this area to say, come on over and you don't need to quarantine. Which for us, people living here a lot full time and it's a ton of opportunity. And I mean, even so September 26th, right, which is 2 days from now, you don't have to quarantine at a hotel in Hong Kong anymore. And those guys were like full on quarantine action. I mean, literally until, even right now, if you go there now, you got to stay in a hotel for 4 days at least.
Speaking of quarantine, so backtrack a year, right? When I came in,
yeah.
Dave, gotta love Thailand. Dave said, dude, go to Phuket. I was like, oh man, that German lady just gotten, like, she was positive or someone next to her on the plane was positive and she ended up spending a chunk of money and was quarantined. I was like, no way, man. I'm just gonna, we had Bangkok and I forget what they called that other than quarantine, but then they had another one which gave you the option of Pattaya and somewhere else where you could quarantine for 2 weeks. You still were locked up in a hotel for 14 days.
Is that Phuket?
No, this was before the Sandbox. Okay. And Sandbox was here. You had Bangkok, Jomtien, and somewhere else where you could go for 2 weeks. 2 weeks and be locked in a box.
Koh Samui.
2 weeks on the island. So Dave says, go to Phuket, man. Worst case scenario. So what I did is I booked the absolute cheapest freaking place I could find. Was 8,000 baht for 2 weeks.
Nice. Wow.
Good deal. I had to pay for my 3 tests, right?
Yeah.
On arrival, 5 days later, and then before I left.
But they feed you.
Those were 85. That was 8,500 baht for the tests. So the room for 2 weeks was 8,000 because I figured I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be stuck. So they're going to send me somewhere expensive. So I'm going to get off cheap, right? Well, I ended up being able to travel around and stuff. So but Dave talked me into Phuket.
But that was a pretty damn good solution, man. I mean, you were all the beaches to yourself.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally to myself.
Yeah. I remember being down there and I mean, Bang Tao Beach. That's a giant walking beach, right? And it was just like, oh my God, this was only child beach, right? Is what I got. And it was fantastic. Plus there's like tons of places to go and, I shouldn't say it. There weren't tons of places to go, but the places you could go, the food there, of course, is awesome. Phuket is in general awesome, but I remember just cruising around the island. Basically, I started up by the airport and went around, and I was at 26 beaches, and I still hadn't made it all the way around. And when you landed in Phuket during that Sandbox time, like you said, several hours after basically checking in, you could just grab a motorbike and cruise around the island, right?
Less than 3 hours.
Less than.
Yeah, my phone rang. I hadn't even showered, hadn't even collected my thoughts. It had been, 24 hours of traveling. And I'm like, numb in the head, right? Phone rang. I'm like, what the heck's that ringing? What is that noise? Oh, it's a phone. You're free to go. Less than 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
I have
pretty.
to answer Dave's question. He asked if I'm going to get married soon. No, absolutely not.
Well, not to him.
I have no plans on getting married in the near future. I just, it's not on my radar.
Wow.
Sorry
Well,
to
you
burst
mentioned
anybody's
1 year.
bubble.
Is that a
Huh?
Yeah, I heard-
is that a proposal? I mean, Dave,
No, I think he's,
a little
because
risky.
Dave's married. I think polygamy is illegal here.
Maybe, but have you seen his
It's
outfit?
just-
Wraps himself in the flag. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, well, Mitch get
So,
married
Mitch,
soon.
I heard you say something about a year. Have you only been there a year straight? I mean, you've been there much longer than a year, right?
Friday the 13th, August, I arrived.
Mm.
So it's just over a year now.
Over a year
13
from
months.
Seattle.
Yeah. Retired.
Wow. Okay, and then, oh, retired. Where were you before? Were you just going back and forth at that point, or?
Yeah. Going back and forth.
Okay, so what? So you're on a retirement visa, or could you tell us about your process? Because I know that got a couple.
Yeah, I
listeners.
came here on a tourist visa, which is 60 days, a TR, extendable another 30 days, so
Yep.
90-day chunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, in that time period, I'm going to go to an agency, and they're going to help me get my my retirement visa,
Retirement visa.
which I did in 7 weeks' time, I think, because I was 5 weeks on Phuket, got to Pattaya. Reason I came to Pattaya is because I'm familiar with it, and I already had and still do have friends here that are established
Mm.
and expats in the community. I've known them for years, so it's just a shoe-in for me, real easy. Hey, where do I get this? Where do I get that? Because going from back in the years ago, I was a partner in a business in Pattaya back in the early 2000s, and then I was just a vacationer,
Okay.
a holiday maker, right?
Right.
Kind of like what I'm doing, sort of.
Yeah, just
You know.
extended periods. I brought my wife, my American wife, and my children here.
Oh,
We traveled around. I didn't just stay in Pattaya. No, we traveled around the country, and
gotcha.
but numbers wise, I'd spent more time in Chonburi province than any other province.
Yes. And so that's
it
where
was
you
easy
live now
me.
for the past,
Yes, exactly.
for this past year.
And the
you've
more
lived
I'm
there.
here, the longer I'm here, the lazier I get because everything, convenience, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I enjoy convenience, turnkey. Let's just
Yep.
get it done. So I'm familiar with it. I'm in my comfort zone. Everything is here that I need. So when I go on these road trips, fortunately, I'm able to do this. I'm always looking for that sweet spot. Where can I live long term, right?
Mhm.
Where can I because I really like, there's certain things that you can get into some serious bad habits here if you don't have the
Yeah.
intestinal fortitude
Sure.
to stay on top of your life, right? You can fall into some bad habits, and that can happen anywhere.
Yeah, not just Pattaya. I mean, I have this
Not-
phrase that I say, get the Pattaya out of your system, and I think a lot of
Yeah.
single guys will certainly know what I mean
for
by
me,
that.
the honeymoon's over, right?
Yeah, totally,
The
right.
honeymoon's over. I'm
Yeah.
like, I've been here long enough. It's like, okay,
You're living there.
I'm bored with that,
Mm-hmm.
literally.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And
Well, and you
Mm.
mentioned traveling earlier. So are your plans coming up here to travel around Thailand, or I mean, you just got back from Phuket, is that correct? Or
we went to a few places. Prachuap,
yeah,
down at Joe's place, Phuket, Koh
Gotcha.
Samui, Suratani, Chumphon. These are all places we actually stayed.
What'd you
not
think of
just road trips.
Chumphon? Because I went down there with Dave this a couple years ago during that Air Asia Pass thing. He and I cruised. It was kind of boring. There wasn't a whole lot to do in Chumphon. But again, it was raining, so we were limited. But what did you guys? How long were you in Chumphon? Just one day.
One night.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2
Just
nights.
stay over, or did you be like,
Sorry,
oh yeah,
2
we're going to
nights.
stop here and go do something? You're like, no, I'm just
Stopped,
going to
stayed. So 2 nights.
Okay.
No offense to my friends that live there. I haven't spent enough time there to formulate my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough.
that's fair.
It's got some
2
good
days
walking
isn't very long.
beaches, right? I mean, you can walk, and a lot of people use that as a jumping off point for Koh Tao, right? They take the ferry over, I guess.
Yeah. There's so
And
this
Koh Tao's an
country is
island.
so diverse. I mean, there's so much.
Yeah, for sure.
I get these. Hey, did you go to such and such restaurant? Did you go to? There's only so many days in a year, right?
Yeah.
So
Now, the
where's
one
your
I love.
hangout now? Where's your hangout now?
Yeah.
Where do you hang out? John, you're in John
Advertising
Dean.
opportunity.
I don't.
Where do you go?
The
Wombat.
It's been over a month since I've been to the Wombat.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But you got your YouTuber meetup there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And I missed the last one because I was on the road. But
right.
The next one is next week, October 1st, Saturday.
Yeah,
4
first
p.m.
Saturday, 4 p.m.
Coming,
ladies
Mike?
and gentlemen. So the short answer is I certainly hope so, because I finally got all my visa nonsense dealt with. So I got a 2-year visa, two-year work permit. I don't need to deal with any of that. I even got Social Security in Thailand now. Hey. And, so I can go to a government hospital and wait 3 hours.
I'm reading the comments.
Good. And, but here's the thing, right? So, I mean, again, on this show, a lot of what we talk about is like sort of Robbie's journey, my journey, and then now your journey. Okay, when you say since 81, do you mean like, because when people ask me like when I first came here, I'm like, okay, 2012. I came here, 90 days later, I came here again, and then more and more and more every year until basically I finally moved here. When you first came here in 81, I mean, was it like for work? Was it for the Army? Was it for whatever? And then how much time transpired before your next trip to the point where, as we were talking about earlier, you basically started coming here 4 times a year and then said, well, screw it. Now it's my home. Like, give me
Great question. Yeah, let's fill in some gaps here. In 1981, I was 17 and in high school.
Okay, me too.
And fortunately, the high school that I went to we were able, 10 students and 2 teachers went on a Southeast Asia trip for 5 months.
Awesome.
And Thailand was one of the stops.
Okay.
Everyone in the group had their, I want to see Singapore. I want to, they had their favorite spot. Mine was Nepal because I love the mountains. I love hiking. I love being out in the wilderness, right?
Yeah.
So my dream was, I want to see Nepal, the Himalayas. So, but I fell in love with Thailand in that, and my first tropical island was Koh Samui, and it was dirt track and bamboo shacks.
Awesome.
In 81.
How long were you in Thailand as part of those 5 months?
Oh, about a month.
Oh, that's a ton of time for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, when you're 17, I have children here. Let's be honest.
Yeah, okay.
He has adult children here. By the way, they're guesting next week.
At 17, you can tie it in a knot.
I could.
Okay, so you're here, you do the trip, and then you cruise home, and you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. Or you were like, I can't wait to get back to Nepal. But that Pattaya place, that's a close second. I mean, give it like 17. What happens in 1981 when you've come to Thailand? My God, that's a big delta.
After that trip, I was never happy with America.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, it just opened my eyes.
People want details.
Just opened my eyes. I mean, there's just so much more than your little backyard in Seattle.
Yeah, right. So what about, because it's one thing to come to Bangkok now. Oh yeah, third world country, blah, blah, blah. We joke around that all the time, but totally incorrect label. People come to Bangkok and then Robbie takes them over to Siam Paragon and they buy a Porsche on the 6th floor. And they're like, wait a minute, this isn't like the backwards. You guys don't commute on an elephant. But in 81 in friggin' Samui, it was basically just like you and Chris Parker were the only people over there going, holy crap, this is amazing. But I heard the same thing from many people know him. Retired Chief Asia, right?
Yeah.
And, he went there too. And he said the same thing. Dirt roads, friggin' awesome. Bamboo huts. Oh my God, I could live here for like $1 a day. I mean, that's a big delta from Seattle, right? So what was it that you were like, oh my God, this is so, because in 81 for me, I'm like, listen, if you guys don't have like a 12 speed, this whole 10 speed nonsense is like for the lame kids, but I'm at the cool kids table. Dad just bought me a Univega 12 speed. So I'm a big deal in 1981 and conveniences and that sort of thing. But like, what was it that you were like, wow, yeah, it's a whole bunch of difference. But
at 17.
Yeah, at 17, what made you say this
Yeah,
is? I mean, was it the girls? I mean, because that's what got me back here the second
No,
time.
no, it wasn't the girls. We had girls in the group. American
Okay.
girls.
Right, you brought sand to the beach, yeah.
Yeah, we did. And no, just the sights, the smells, the food, the chaos, the just stimuli coming from all directions 24/7. You know, everything was new, right? I mean, everything to me was new. You know, when I land, every time I land in Bangkok, I feel 17 again. I feel young. You know what I mean?
That's cool, man.
Even now?
Yeah, well, now when I land in Bangkok, I'm like, shit, I can't wait to get to my condo.
Oh, okay, that's a good point, because like both Robbie and I have used the phrase, we're not big city guys, but we love Bangkok. I love Bangkok. It's amazing.
Bangkok.
Also, because it's real easy to leave Bangkok. You know, for 130 baht, I can get down and hang out with you coming down next Saturday on the beach or on the bus.
Yep.
So what do you now? 140. So what don't you like about Bangkok necessarily, Mitch? Now that you're like a full-on expat living there full time, super educated on Thailand.
Wow. I don't like being where I can't see the horizon.
Okay, got it.
Basically.
You're a nature guy. You're like, I need to see beach, mountains.
Yeah, something. Not just another building.
Right. Yeah. That's fair. Got it.
Do you have a view now where you're at?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I have a nice
good ocean of Koh Lan.
Yeah, I can see Koh Lan from my balcony. I can see Khao Chi Chan, the Buddha, the laser golden Buddha. I can see that mountain.
Can you see Russia from your backyard? I know a lady.
I can see Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
No way our UK listeners just got that. I mean, that was so focused.
Yeah, it was. That was a smart bomb of where you can
U.S. election trying to get part of the U.S. Yeah, she's not. So
MetTech said, what did he say earlier? You said something, MetTech. How do I scroll this thing?
So it's that little round thing on your mouse in the middle. You kind of got to do this with it. And if you can do that really well, the girls will line up, bro. I'm
trying to scroll back I'll just go back on the YouTube chat.
Just like this, Mitch. Just like
MetTech mentioned something about 20 years earlier.
Oh, yeah. He said that it's been 20. There you go. This one. Been 20 years. What changes? I shall see. Yeah. So 20 years since you've been. I mean, that's the thing, right? So I'm here and, oh my God, you've been there like 10 years. I wish. I mean, if not, I mean, when I hear guys talk about being 17 years old traveling the world, I have very few regrets. Actually, I don't have any regrets in my life. I have mild disappointments based on past decisions I made. But I so wish I was either influenced by someone else or believed that there was life beyond the United States. Because unfortunately, the only Vietnam I knew of as a kid was watching the movies about the war, right? So I mean, it started with Apocalypse Now, and then of course all the other ones that came out from. You don't know. I didn't know what I didn't know, and the unconscious incompetence is like really frustrating. To the point where, like, living in Boston, like in the winter, right? I would drive all the way down to the Florida Keys, 27 hours straight to be able to like go into warm, that sort of thing. And then after doing some international travel, I fly home, visit my folks in Boston, and I'm like, oh my God, for $99, I can fly to Bermuda. I mean, it was lit. I could swim to friggin' Bermuda but I never the minute getting off of the continental U.S. just seems so weird. Hawaii just seemed like an entire universe away. And that's so awesome that you got that introduced. Because I remember kids in high school and they were going to do like study abroad, but they were all going to go to Paris and, and all this stuff. But man, Southeast Asia back then. So what do you think, like for guys
at 17?
It's 17, yeah. But for guys like us, like now, like in our 50s and 60s and stuff, we're wanting to retire. We watch these videos. We watch Mitch. We watch Dave. We watch Robbie and Mike's talk about, living over there. What do you think, like, is there any version of the Koh Samui you experienced at 17 years old, dirt roads, etc.? Is there any place in the world still like that? Like, is Cambodia, does it still have some of that?
Yeah. Wow, great question. I haven't found it yet.
Okay. Anything close? Because I got to tell you, there are parts of Koh Phangan, dude, that once I get there, I'm like, wow, I'm in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, you are. There's places in Thailand that are remote, secluded and pristine, and like days past.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. And then there's a 7-Eleven with 3
and then
Wi-Fi.
you turn the corner, there's a 7-Eleven, and then there's another one. And but yeah, there's places. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't know.
Because I've often wondered.
Lot,
I wonder if like Cambodia. I mean, I'm sure there's places in Laos. There's probably guys like, no, dude,
I'm
trust
sure
me.
There's places everywhere.
But
Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, of course.
Yeah, right. But I mean, does it have the same feel? Because I remember, because I had years ago girlfriend in Nakhon Ratchasima, right? So Korat, like up there, basically, kind of not knee deep in the bush, right? But she had a farm, and she had like an 8-rye farm, and there was a house, all wood, and neighbors were like kilometers away, and it was like in the middle of friggin' nowhere, dirt roads. And then I look up on top of the mountain, and I look down at my phone, and I've got 4G LTE. So
she lives in Surin, you're telling me.
So basically, yeah. She made so much money because I was like, dude, there's a guy that looks like Santa Claus that wants to buy my potato farm. This is sweet. No, I mean, it was like, but it was almost in the middle of, chickens everywhere, and, but, then you'd like drive. I mean, it was, 8 kilometers to the main road. But then the minute you got there, there was a Home Pro, and there was 2 7-Elevens, and there was so there's that sort of combo, which actually, I mean, I would love to be able to go somewhere that's completely untouched. That would be really interesting for me.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. In fact, I have to call people or message them to say, where was this place such and such that we went to?
Okay.
My record keeping sucks. I don't know all the provinces I've been to and different hotels and different things. I'm like, where was this? Where was that?
Yeah.
And I'll go, oh, yeah. Now I remember.
Right.
Now, if I did videos and stuff, of course, I would have a record of that, but I don't.
It does help.
Yeah.
I will say, sometimes I refer back to my calendar or my videos. I'm like, Gracie, where the hell did we go when there was that big, Or recently, Robbie, I think, sent a picture of this, which is that big mountain in Pattaya, basically. It's not, that's got the gold Buddha, like, written on it, on the...
Yeah, Khao Chi Chang.
Khao Chi Chang. Yeah. And I have not been there since 2013. And I'm like, oh, crap, we got to go there. I got to show you this.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's lots to see around it, too. I mean, there's...
Agreed.
It is built up. I mean, I would say it's like there's still jungle, but the wineries and all that stuff, so everything's down there. Chinese temple. I mean, there's all kinds of neat things to see in that area.
Yeah, lots of stuff down there. So I have a question for you. When you were down visiting Joe, if you can tell us what was that area? I mean, would someone like myself, is that some place to retire?
Sure. I have a bunch of friends that are moving from Pattaya to there. Vince and Gail, Mike and Nicole literally are renting places near Joe.
Okay.
It's
I
beautiful.
saw Joe's building a neighbor. There's a neighbor that's moving in. I'm trying to remember the fellow's name. His mom is moving there.
The house they're building next to his.
Chuck's mom is moving right next to Joe. There's a new house being built next to Joe.
Yeah.
Literally next door.
Yeah.
And Vince and his wife are renting half of that house, and Chuck's mom is renting the other half.
And she came from, I think, Chicago or something like that. Or no, she came from Texas.
Correct. Yes. Texas.
Yeah. Nice.
So what's the name of that city and area? Just tell guys where it's at.
Prachuap Khiri
Prachuap Khiri.
The short. A lot of people refer to it as PKK, but at the end of the day, it's important to realize that Prachuap Khiri and Prachuap Khiri are a province and a city.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And basically, if you were to go if you were looking at a map of Thailand with Bangkok, let's say at the top of the, and then you go all the way down the west coast, you go past Cha Am, you go to Hua Hin, and then eventually you end up in Prachuap Khiri. And it's a beach city, if you will. The beach is not real deep, but it's really cool. And so a lot of people will think of Prachuap Khiri as actually a beach a little bit further south than where Joe lives. Joe lives in area, yeah, that's this really super long beach, especially at high tide, right next to a national park. It's awesome. And then you kind of like go over this like little bridge sort of thing. And then there's this Buddha that is 326 steps to the top, which is just amazing. And the views from up there are fantastic. And then there's this other beach that is a little bit more modern in the sense that there's like a couple of buildings that are over, 20 feet tall.
Right.
And they have a night market on that beach like almost every night. And and you can get a foot massage. So Prachap Curry Con is just really, really neat. The other neat thing about it is that you can basically almost walk from the train station down to the beach.
Yep. You sure can.
Yeah, which is really neat. There's a lot going on. We almost live down there, but again, like I said, I mean, from Bangkok, you can get down to Prachap Curry Con. From Prachap Curry Con to get back to anywhere where you need to do something like business related or administrative is like, Bangkok, that sort of thing. It can be like 5 or 6 hours. Wow. And yeah, so that's a little bit, whereas Hua Hin's a little bit closer, Cha Am a little bit closer, but yeah, Prachap Curry Con, it's really cool because I mean you're still in a sort of a modern area, but like I mean you've seen Joe. I mean Joe's house is like brand new, has a pool. He's got all of these. Oh,
so
features.
beautiful.
Totally, so it's a really, really neat place. There's a ton of monkeys, like right on the street, like at the end of the beach. It's got a lot going for it. And
so have you been to Joe's?
Say again.
Have you been to Joe's place?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, and you, Mike, have you been there or
no? I haven't been there. I actually met him down there at a coffee shop before he had started building the house.
Okay.
In fact, first time I was at Joe's, I was with Dave. We were on that motorcycle trip.
That's right.
And we all converged on Joe's place. We had Thanksgiving dinner there last year.
That's right. Wow. I remember that.
Nice.
It wasn't actually on Thanksgiving Day. It was a couple days after Thanksgiving, but it was our Thanksgiving.
Nice.
And wonderful time. Great trip. Even though we got some rain, it was still a great trip. We had a great time. Dave will second me on that, I'm sure. And then Dave just said he would move there if he could.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because again, I live in Bangkok, right? And Bangkok and areas of Phuket, one could argue, are the most expensive places in Thailand. They're hardly the most expensive places in the world. It's not like Singapore. But Bangkok can be expensive. And especially if you want like the modern conveniences, like less than a kilometer from BTS, walking distance to something modern. Prachap Curry Con, very reasonably priced, completely not distracted by the price of pretty much anything.
Right.
And, you go in a little bit and they have a home pro and they have a macro and they have, all of the sort of, but they also have like night markets where the chairs are sideways and it's a dirt floor and it rains and then things slide and it's the best food you've ever eaten in your entire life,
Gotta love Thailand.
Gotta love Thailand. There you go.
It is a beautiful place with lots to offer.
For sure.
Yeah.
Guys,
that's what I found about Bangkok. Yeah, go for it, Mike.
Bangkok. Anyway, so we're like 53 minutes in, and we're talking about like transportation and stuff. I wanted to highlight one of the taxis the taxi services, Robbie, that you use. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back after that. Mitch, if you still have time to stick around, that would be totally awesome. But let's take this quick break. I'm going to grab some 3-in-1, and Mitch has some time. What do you think, Robbie?
I'll be here.
Good? Sounds good. We'll see you in a minute.
Guys. There you go. Very cool.
Hey guys, this is Robbie from Walking in the Shoes. I'm with Kerwin GR Taxi Service in this luxury cab. Let's check. So there's her information. She does speak English, and this is a beautiful car. She provides drinks for you, wet nap, all leather seating, super comfortable, luggage area, plenty of room for you and your friends. And again, she does speak English. Just say 1 or 2 words. Hello.
Hi everybody. I'm going taxi service car.
So guys, here is the cab I've taken. Very nice, brand new luxury vehicle. And price for this vehicle, for a luxury vehicle from Pattaya to the airport, you can get as low as 1,000 baht, but for luxury, you're gonna pay a little bit more for, up to 1,500 baht. Anyways, beautiful brand new car. There it is. Yep, beautiful car. Yes. So here's her information. So be sure to give her a call. She books through Facebook. I will also provide it in the links below. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to the spot, and let's get back to the show. Peace.
I just like the music. I mean, I got to tell you, you know, if I'm going to rent a taxi, I'm going to want to have some boom boom in the room.
Boom boom? Or where are you going? Thailand? Where are you going? Phuket?
I might be going boom boom, yeah.
Or Pattaya?
All right, guys. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Once again, it's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com along with
Robbie from Walking My Shoes, Thailand. And
Mr. Mitch. Dude, we are so doing the whole like Brady Bunch thing right now.
Have a lovely lady.
Oh, dude. Marcia. That's another thing that the UK listeners are like, what is your problem?
I think Mitch is more like out. Wait. What was the lady's name? What do you call it? The housekeeper lady?
Alice.
It was Alice. All right. Keep us on track there. Alice.
Mike, you gotta say, you know, he designed the house. And the fact that he designed it so big to have 6 kids, I mean, Jesus, you know, that's an architect I want to hang out with for sure.
Yeah.
Do you ever see all the bedrooms?
Nope.
No, you don't. Hey guys, is my mic okay? Because we had that comment earlier, and I don't know if my system's not working.
Sounds fine to me. I can hear you.
Sounds fine to me too.
All right.
I sound fine to me. I've gotten some people saying that I was a little too hot, so I bumped myself down. I'm at like 75. You're at 150. Mitch is at 115 because he's amazing. And my wonderful Gracie is going to bring me some 3-in-1, ideally with hot water mixed into it. So, Mitch, okay, so you're down in Pattaya, and we joked around a little bit about, you know, rainy season and that sort of thing. Now, you've been down to Koh Chang, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Love it. Love the island.
Gracie and I were there in September. When have you been there? What time of year was it that you went there?
Oh boy! Holy shoot, Dave, help me out here.
This story, yeah. I should have known, right?
When was I in Koh Chang? I'm literally going to have to look at my
calendar. That's what I do, actually.
Well, and Mike, why don't you tell us where Koh Chang's at in relation to Pattaya, Bangkok?
So looking at a map, if you guys know where Pattaya is, right? Obviously, the main Pattaya beach, and then Jom Tien is just south of Pattaya beach. In between Pattaya and Jom Tien, right, there's a ferry, and you would take that to Koh Larn, okay, which is the island right off of Pattaya. If you go a little bit further south, basically down into Rayong province, then the next one after that is it right after that, Mitch? Anyway, you go into Trat province, which is a few more south of that, and it's basically right west of that. So at the end of the day, you're looking at about a 2-hour drive or so from Pattaya down to the pier that then takes you to Koh Chang. Is that about accurate, Mitch?
Yes. Yeah, that's accurate enough. About
2 hours. Yeah, so it's an island. It's probably about 4 times larger than Koh Larn, which I know you go to. You've been to a couple times, Robbie.
Too much.
I will say that there are areas of Koh Chang that, I mean, you know, there's like the beach area, right? And it's pretty popular, and it's, you know, 7-Eleven's that sort. I mean, there's 7-Eleven. Like, for example, I love, and Dave has been to this area too, the west side of the island, which is from there you can basically see, you know, like Pattaya Jom Tien kind of thing. And over there, I mean, there's no 7-Elevens. You got to go down past the pier where you come in, and then you start going around sort of the south area, the south side of the island. I'm sorry, that's not right. The east side of the island is sort of the dead side. You come in on the ferry, and then you go straight down. And in fact, Mitch did a great video of this like just random pier that's out there. And so that side is like really, really cool. Yeah. And then the west side is like more populated. Right. And so that's where like, there's lots of bars and that sort of thing, but there's areas on the east side of Koh Chang where you're like, wow, this is, I mean, there's paved roads, but there's also a bunch of dirt roads. So Koh Chang's really cool like that because you can get a little bit of the old versus new. Koh Chang is, had, and even when we were there last year, as well as this year, even worse, big time floods to the point where like the streets would like just wash away, like asphalt, big hole, you know, kind of thing. So it's got a little bit of the oldness to it, which is really cool. And then if you keep going further on the mainland through Trat, then you end up actually in Cambodia. And so it's a neat area to explore for sure. But yeah, as Mitch was saying, I mean, it's really, really nice. It's really, really nice. But I do not recommend going there in September. It rains all day, every friggin' day for sometimes, a week or two at a time. Now, what about your next trip, Mitch? Because I know you say, I don't really know where I live yet. Like, where's your next exploration going to take you?
That's a great question. Back to Koh Chang, the last time I was there was the first part of August, this past August. And
Okay.
that was 6 months prior.
Nice weather.
Surin. I'm going to go to Surin.
Are you seriously? Okay, right on. Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to head up north. There's some friends I want to see. I don't know. I just don't know. Today, I have not. There's no plans. No general discussions. Anything on another trip, either with a group of people or myself.
Taking some time off. That's always good.
Yeah, taking some time off. Let's say. There's
I know when I get there
right here.
Yeah. I know when I get there in November, I'm supposed to go to Chiang Mai for a week and see a couple of friends up there. I was asked this question is how do you make friends over there if you're not from there? So, I mean, you're talking about friends and we're talking about you went to Joe's place, you went to all these different things and you've only been there a year. I mean, man, social butterfly. What do you think, Mike? Social butterfly?
Yeah, butterfly. No, I've been fortunate enough to have a network, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're all creating a network right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully Mike will be down next week. You'll be in the country in November. I've got a lot of friends coming in that I've met before and that I'm going to meet coming in November. December is a busy month. Chiang Mai might be in the works in December.
Nice.
I've got a coworker of my daughter, her and her family are coming here in the month of December. So I know I'll be up in Chiang Mai.
When's the best time to come? If I was to tell my buddies, hey, come, when's the best time to come?
Everyone asks that.
Everyone
knows. Sooner the better. I don't care if it's
not
rainy
now.
season.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't care. That doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, right now, you'll get these CNN reports. Oh my God, Storm Watch 2020, Flood Watch 1999, all over again. Or a lot of people say, is this as bad as it was in 2011 in Bangkok? And what they don't show
worse.
For some people. But what they don't show you is the video reel 30 minutes later. Because, there's a ton of floods, but the sewage system is a 7-foot pipe. I mean, the water flows quickly, which is the downside is if you're caught in it. But, I mean, yes, it floods. But, I mean, and especially in Bangkok, 30 minutes later, that whatever that flood is that you saw the photo of the still. Yeah, it's gone. Now, in Pattaya, arguably, there are some soys that there's some roads that they'll get they'll get a flood and it'll stay there. It'll stay at like a foot or two of water for, sorry, Chris, half a meter of water for like the night. But yeah, I mean, so right now, for example, in September in Bangkok, I say the weather is perfect in the sense that it's not as super hot and humid for a lot of people. I love hot and humid, but a lot of people don't like that. They're like, oh my God, it's so sticky. It's going to rain all the time. So here's the beauty of Bangkok in September. It rains starting at about sundown, and then it'll rain at night, and then in the morning, it's all gone. Which, if you're a day person, that's great. If you're like, oh, dude, I'm going to meet all my buddies at like 9:30, bring a friggin' umbrella, or take a grab, or do whatever. But I mean, again, you're not coming to Bangkok to like lay out, okay? To be fair, September in Pattaya is not awesome. I do, overall, but you're going to get, days that are, for example, July in Phuket is not a great month to be there overall, but you're going to get some really great days from really great weather. Whereas July in Bangkok is fantastic. So when people say, oh, it's rainy season in Thailand, well, it's a big country and they've got like, probably 6 or 7 different sort of monsoon climates. So it varies. So I understand what Mitch is saying when he's like, no, dude, come anytime. I would argue that February is the best month, and here's why. The weather is still decent almost everywhere in the sense that you don't have to like delay your life by 3 or 4 days indoors when it's raining constantly, which if you're only over here for 2 weeks, that could suck ass.
That would.
Additionally, it's not super, super hot and humid, which is good. But by February, a lot of the high season, a lot of peak season tourists have gone. So unless you're here for the week of basically Chinese New Year.
Fireworks Festival.
So Fireworks Festival's in November. In Pattaya, I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a good one. And it's also not necessarily peak. It's not peak season yet. It's high season. But yeah, I think I agree. Anytime. I've come over here, and that was another thing too, before I moved here permanently. I'm like, okay, it's one thing to go to somewhere in December and January where it's designed for tourists and everything's great. And I have like, what's it like in June and July when the tickets are only $300? Like there's a reason, you know, right? And yeah, don't go to Phuket in June or July. It could literally be gray and rainy like almost every day.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
It can be, but again, you know, a lot of people are, oh my God, yeah, it's rainy, but it's friggin' 85 degrees. You know, it's 30 degrees outside, right? This is awesome. So I mean, I think the key really though, and one of the things that Robbie talks about that I don't think a lot of guys do. I think a lot more guys are like you and me, Mitch, in the sense that like, okay, my work is over. Now I'm moving to Thailand permanently. Right. I mean, you mentioned you retired. I mean, I'm kind of retired in the sense that I don't have a real job, but I still like doing stuff like this and, you know, hanging out with you guys. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be down in Pattaya. I will make that commitment for Saturday. I definitely want to hang out with you guys. And like you say, expand the network, but also hear, you know, some different stories. But Robbie, he's keeping his business going. Yeah. And so that's, you know, kind of a challenge. So, I mean, you talked a little bit about that at the beginning, Robbie, but I'd like to hear like some of the things where you're just like, no, I mean, this is convincing me that I can still have a business while I live permanently in Thailand. Well, I'm not like vacationing. Walk me and Mitch and the other guys like us that have said, well, no, I can only do it if I'm retired. Walk us through what you're doing to like, no, I can still live over there and have a business in the U.S.
Yeah. So, I mean, at 52 years old, one thing I like staying busy. And I like making a little bit of money because I don't have a traditional retirement like most guys who are retired there. I don't have military or large 401ks because I've been an independent business owner for several years. And now I'm doing it really is this past year, I've developed a 5 full-time person team in the Philippines. Full-time employees. I have 5 full-time here in the United States and a couple of part-timers. And with all that being said, it's really finding the right people to help run that business and having solid program in place. It isn't get rich quick thing or anything like that. It is something that you got to have the right people in place. And it isn't easy. I've struggled with it, but it's been 10 years in the making. And I'm on year 9, year 10 when I'm there full time, which is this next year.
Right.
You know, it's been 10 years of making that happen. So it wasn't like, hey, I did this one thing. Having the 5 people in the Philippines, that's only 1 hour time difference from where I'm going to be in Jomtien. So I have my condo in Jomtien now, which I'm going to move probably once I come back there in February. My lease ends. I'm going to want to move actually towards where Mr. Mitch is going to be at and get a bigger place for sure. And do my home office there, and you know, hopefully I can do. I want to make sure everything's on the up and up and legal, of course. I mean, work permits and all that stuff. Worst case scenario, guys, I'm gonna get my retirement visa, and I can run my business through emails if I had to. If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mitch, in case you don't know what I do, I'm a web developer / business marketer. I help businesses market. Market what they do online and give results. So that's what I do. Yeah, from websites to creative marketing, just stuff like that. That's kind of how I do it. So yeah, I hopefully that answers the question.
No, for sure.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
Yeah,
definitely.
And the spot is part of that. This spot that everybody's watching right now and listening is part of my plan. This is part of it. And thanks, Mr. Mitch, for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Oh, dude, it's
thanks for tolerating me, guys.
It's great to catch up. Now I know we're at an hour and 10 minutes. Do you need to go? Because I know you mentioned something about an hour, and I just want to make sure that I'm not holding you back, baby.
No, the rain has stopped. It came and went, and I can ride fast.
Awesome.
Not a problem.
Okay, very cool. That's good. I love.
We're on for an hour and a half typically.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
And just to kind of dovetail on what Robbie was talking about, I mean, one of the reasons that he and I connected is he reached out to me, and I'm sure you get this, Mitch, and you get this now too, Robbie, which is, hey, dude, saw you on YouTube channel. I'm in town.
Yep.
You want to go meet and have coffee?
Yep.
And so Robbie and I started talking, and we went to meet and have bagels for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. 3.5 hours later, we're still talking about like opportunities in Thailand, because it's like, well, I live here. He wants to move here, right? So at the time, it was basically around Kiss FM Pattaya, right? It's like, okay, what am I going to do with this thing? And then we both decided, okay, we need to rebrand this, and it needs to be a much bigger offering to people. Because even when we were both down in Jomtien hanging out, I'm like sitting at the Wombat. Steve comes up, and he's like, hey, yeah, so this guy tells me that you've got a radio station, and, maybe I could advertise, that sort of thing. We looked at it at the time. It was just like, I would love to take your money, but it's not the right time. I can't provide you with enough ROI for what you would do for us. I'm psyched to do it in the future. So now we've got this sort of brand, and we're trying out this new thing. And quite frankly, after COVID started, and this radio guy was like, "Oh my God, I can do radio again," because everyone was live streaming during COVID because no one could go outdoors with their GoPro anymore. And so it's like, this is a really cool opportunity, and we get to engage with people, like you, Mitch, and stuff. And to that point, like if you have any recommendations on maybe who we should bring into the show for a fourth person, to really get some additional opinion or engagement or something like that, that would be totally awesome. I do want to highlight one thing that Patrick says, and Patrick, thank you for coming by the live stream. You come by very frequently, and I really appreciate it.
Much appreciated.
And he says there's always a reason not to do something. It's like, oh, well, the weather's not so bad. And I got to tell you guys, the reason I didn't, did I just freeze up?
You're fine.
Okay. All right, good. The reason that I didn't come to Thailand initially was because, oh my God, the flight's going to be so long.
Yeah.
And like Mitch said, like you either get up, you walk around, or you don't, or you sit down, or you watch 3 movies, or you watch 8 movies. They feed you every 2 hours. I mean, it's just going to happen. And but
it is what it is.
The other joke that I love from Dave is that, on a personal note, do not come to Thailand. Horrible place. No people, no beaches, nothing to do here. Better off staying. Yeah, and it's expensive. Do not come to Thailand.
So expensive.
Yeah, stay away.
Yeah, it's over expensive.
Yeah, you're going to need to base it. I mean, if you can afford to live in Singapore, add another 10% to that lifestyle, then maybe you can afford to live in Pratchap Currycon. But yeah, that's the joke, right?
I do too, MetTech. I like Mark also. He's a great guy.
Talk to me about this. Mark Thornton, that's another channel. Every Man Has a Second Story?
Yeah, it's Philippine-based. Yeah, great guy.
I had another guy just reach out to me he's in Dumaguete, and I guess he just started a YouTube channel. I
I got that same reach out.
The Kiki guy?
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's interesting too, because I know exactly where he's at, as I knew where Robbie was at, which is like, hey, I got a YouTube channel, and I'm, and then I'm going to do a video on Soy 6, and then my channel's going to blow up, right?
Oh my gosh. Lady Boys.
That was so funny. We meet there, and he calls it Lady Boy Alley. And we go down to 6-1, and we talk like just nonsense for like 25 minutes.
Nonsense.
Didn't see one Lady Boy.
Not one.
30,000 views on his Lady Boy. It was hilarious, man.
38,000. I'm going to hit 40 before any moment.
Look at you. Dude, you're living the dream.
Yeah.
I friggin' love it. That is classic.
Yeah.
So, but with some sort of, here's a question I got recently is, okay, Mike, you've been back to the U.S. for 3 months, basically back there in summer in New England. What did you miss about Thailand? It is. It really, I mean, it's literally perfect because it's hot, it's humid, and it's summer, right? So, like, I mean, of the three months out of the year, the other 9 being crappy weather, 3 months out of the year, you can actually like go outdoors regularly, right? So I'm having a great time, and haven't seen my folks in 3 years, so that was great. And then I come back to Thailand, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I said, honestly, I was there. It was great to see my folks. I was enjoying that. I didn't really miss anything about Thailand. It wasn't like, oh my God, I gotta get that. But now being back here, I'm sort of reminded about what I didn't acknowledge while I was there, but what I did miss about Thailand. and this is going to sound silly. Do you guys have this? The way you cross the street here as a pedestrian, at first, a lot of people would be like, oh my God, nobody stops for you or whatever. And it's like, no. You just walk out into traffic and you basically wait for the cars to go by. And depending upon the eye contact you make with the driver, you just wait for the car to go by and then you just walk. And the car driving towards you isn't like, oh my God, a pedestrian. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna either slow down or I'm gonna maintain the same speed. And the driver's gonna go right across. And it's incredibly efficient. So Gracie and I are back home and I'm like, okay, let's cross the street. So we step onto the curb, not even onto the, all the cars stop, not even at a crosswalk. And I looked at it like, oh, these people are being really nice to me. And I'm like, no, this is what you do here. And I thought, God, that's so inefficient. You know?
Yeah.
So we're walking across the street yesterday and I thought, God, I love Thailand. Which is so bizarre. Like, why do you love Thailand for the way that you basically interface with traffic as a pedestrian? And the reason I bring up this silly little story, of course, is Mike's talking, waving his arms in the air. What are the things like that for you guys? Because people be like, oh, yeah, you missed the beaches in Thailand. Yeah, you missed the girls in Thailand. You missed the food. Okay. But do you guys have little things like that? That, like, you're like, God, this is so cool. It's so Thailand for me. That most people might not think is Thailand. You guys got anything like that?
Dozens and dozens and dozens of things.
One
Pattaya
example.
Beach, baby. Come on, Pattaya on the beach.
Pattaya on the beach. Okay, so that's like a Thailand thing that you're like, this is just so Thailand for me. Specifically, what on the beach? I mean, volleyball. You do that at Pismo Beach.
No, it's the fact that the people. I mean, I'm talking Soy 6 when you're in between that Soy 6 and Walking Street. To me, I mean, again, that's not culturally. That's just where my brain goes. It's not the temples, because I love all the temples. That's my jam. You can see all my videos. But man, what's Thailand? I mean, man, I go to the beach over there off Soy 6 and Walking Street, and I just hang out. I don't know. I know it sounds weird, but
No, it's not weird, dude. I mean, because when I first started coming here, it was like 3 a.m, sitting on the sidewalk, eating one of those kebab sandwiches that I just bought for like $40.
Yep.
Pattaya Beach, right in front of Soy 6, because there's all this action behind you. Arguably one of the biggest, the most red light districts in the whole world, and like I feel safe. Like I can't go to a red light district in freaking Boston or Los Angeles and feel safe, like sitting on the beach. And if someone comes up to me and talks to me, I'm like, oh, cool, a new friend. And that doesn't exist.
A new best friend.
Yeah, that doesn't exist in Long Beach, bro, at like 3 a.m.
No.
Like that is not a good spot. I wanted to address Brock's comments. I know he's just giving a shit, but I think this is hilarious. Where's the best place to go in Thailand to avoid YouTube creators? You want to avoid Chuck Talking Man, David, who is Santa, and Mitch.
Oh, I know. I got the answer for that.
Bangkok, live my ass off, Brock. Bring it.
Wombat this Saturday. I think you should go right about 4 o'clock.
I'm thinking 4
He'll
p.m.
avoid all of them. 4 p.m.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking.
There'll be it's because it's it's free food. Actually, no, it's not free food. What is it, like 99 baht for
100 baht?
Is it 100 baht for
Buffet.
Steve's like all you can eat buffet? Nice.
Yeah, I think there's a buffet. I don't know.
He has a buffet. I mean,
Yeah, and there's nobody there.
yeah, it's only Mr. Mitch's YouTube made up. I don't know.
It's safe here. And coming from Seattle, it's safe here.
And Seattle,
that's what,
overall is fairly safe.
Overall, it is very safe.
Yeah. It's kind of like Boston. I mean, there's some bad, but overall, it's like pretty safe. Los Angeles, no. There's some very common place. San Diego, it's got small pockets, but overall, that's pretty safe. Pismo Beach is arguably pretty safe everywhere, right? Robbie, I mean, you're living in an area.
Yeah, so Pismo Beach, super safe, but there is a high crime. I mean, it's a lot
like
of drugs.
Petty theft?
Really? Just drugs and that kind of stuff. But there's not that many people. I mean, I feel safer actually in Pattaya than I do here in my own hometown, for sure, without a doubt.
No,
without a doubt. And I live right here by the beach.
You're right.
I mean, where I live here, the most dangerous thing I get in Pattaya are the soy dogs. That's the most dangerous things I get.
Yeah, not the people.
Not the people. It's the darn soy dogs on 13 Jomtien. And I'm like, this is crazy how many dogs are, I have to take my scooter down that street just to go to the 7-Eleven.
So,
so
I mean, that's an interesting thing, right? So, I mean, guys are going to come here and potentially they're going to have their guard up and they're going to be like, oh my God, like the lights go off. You're down a soy. And the only reason the soy is lit up is because of the street vendors, right? They have like their little, fluorescent lights hanging from the wire. And then all of a sudden those guys go away. What do you need to worry about? The people, don't worry about them. Worry about the damn dogs.
It's a damn dogs, man.
Yes.
And you know what's funny is, Kitty being Thai. So Kitty's my Thai girlfriend there in the condo. And she just got her driver's license, by the way. And, she has to take the scooter. We're talking only a few hundred yards. Because the dogs are chasing her down the street. And she's scared of the darn dogs. Other than that, we park at the 7-Eleven and we walk everywhere. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, well, especially right there in Jumtian Beach, right? Patrick mentioned, he like his thing that is Thailand, I guess. Walking out of the condo at 3 a.m., going to 7-Eleven, and then a Family Mart, basically 20 meters away. And I agree with that one too, Patrick, because we're in the U.S. and there's a much less density of 7-Elevens, of course, because the highest density is here in Thailand. They're 100 meters from each other. But the frustration of going into 7-Eleven, which is the true definition of convenience store in the U.S., and everything is 3 times the cost of what it is in the grocery store. How refreshing is it, Mitch? Like when you go down to the 7-Eleven and you're like, I'm going to get a Diet Coke or I'm going to get a thing of water and I'm going to get it here because it's the same price elsewhere. Bottle of water is always 10 baht. Milk, always 91.75 baht for a liter, And I mean, I don't know of anywhere in the U.S. where stuff is like, I suppose gasoline overall in the U.S., depending if you stay per state, if you don't go from California to Arizona. But in your neighborhood, basically, gas is the same price, like no matter where the dispenser overall. But that was a refreshing thing for me. It was like, wow, like I can actually go to 7-Eleven and go grocery shopping.
You can.
Right?
Yeah, it's literally the same price as at the big box or the big grocery stores.
Do you go to Macro? Do you ever go big box?
Yeah. I do go to Macro. Yeah.
Because now,
so Mitch, are you living? Well, do you live by yourself, or is it you and a girlfriend, or you and a wife, or I've heard you've been married. I don't know. Are you still married? I mean, let's set the record straight.
I got
here.
divorced in 2009.
Okay.
2009, and have no plans.
And you're getting married again.
No plans at this juncture. No.
Okay, but you have a live-in Thai girlfriend, so you're having to shop for her and all that stuff. So
yeah,
it's not just you.
I go to Macro for my beef.
There
Aussie
you go.
Beef.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Aussie, yeah.
By my
Australia
Aussie
or New Zealand,
tenderloin.
right?
Yeah. There. But I can go to the local market and get my pork chops, my ground pork, my chicken, everything.
Okay.
Kitchens here leave a lot to be desired in condominiums.
Yeah.
They're not that user friendly. They're just not laid out right. I mean, there's exceptions, of course, but I enjoy cooking. I want a kitchen like Dave's kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's kind of, you got to have like there's definitely a Western kitchen.
Right.
I would submit that in the U.S., a lot of times your kitchen is kind of, I mean, you hang out there. Yes, you make dinner and stuff, but you hang out with your buddies here. Here, the kitchen is like, okay, well, that's kind of where we reheat stuff, and then
it's an afterthought.
It's an afterthought, and then we'll go sit on the floor in the kitchen.
We'll go sit somewhere and chop stuff up, right?
Yeah.
I don't do that. I want layout room, man. I want prep space. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to like elbow my way. So,
Mr. Rich, there's something. Something came up here. A monger story, a funny monger story, because we're going to be running out of time. Let's see here. I saw that comment, Mike's. I'm not sure what that is. Sorry, man. But I have here. Can monger story not happening? All right.
That's what I meant by that.
There it is. Okay, never mind. Let's scratch that off. How about the cool kids? Here we go. Thanks, Roger.
Indeed.
Hey, Roger.
All right.
Yeah, Roger's right down the street from you too, right? Yeah. He's in the same building as Robbie.
Yeah,
nice.
Roger's in my building.
What do we got coming up in Pattaya? Robbie mentioned the fireworks festival. So that's happening. Pattaya International Fireworks Festival. That's happening in November. So that should be pretty cool.
November. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. The music festival was when you were there, Robbie, right? Like in August. Is that right?
Yes. So
That
there was
rings a
a
bell.
full music.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was actually pretty cool. A lot of people. Holy cow. And I didn't even publish that video.
A lot of people.
Yeah, it was packed. And I think that's when I met you. Mr. Mitch is at the
Did they have it in
Wombat.
Pattaya and Jomtien? They moved it.
And they had a Kolong.
Different. That's right. They did. Different weekends. Yeah.
That's right. It's like 3 or 4 straight weekends. And it was so crowded.
So August. Let's just say that was in August, correct?
Yeah,
we're gonna go with that.
When I got here after my August sandbox stint, so September, curfew was 8:00. You had to be completely off the streets at 8. So venues, restaurants, whatever, were shutting down at 7:15, 7:30, and the police were going down the street with their lights on, shining the lights, saying "Go, go, go." I mean, it was ghost town at 8 p.m. Literally, and there was no people to speak of, but you had to be home anyway. So
I remember
fast forward to now, it's amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess you can understand why they give it the label. We're totally back open, and it's like, well, yes, compared to August 1 year ago. I remember Gracie and I went on a road trip, and of course we're driving back. There's more traffic than we thought. Shocker. And we get on our street, and it's like 9 p.m., and the 7-Eleven's closed, which, of course, either means there's a Holocaust or there's a curfew. And I'm like, oh, my God, are we supposed to be out right now? Because, I mean, we're literally the only car on the road in Bangkok, dude. And so, but that was eerie. I remember guys from their condos in Jomtien, actually, doing quick videos of the beach road. At and even 7:30, 8 o'clock. Like 7:30, people were like, "We better go home." And it was pretty wild. I mean, it was really. One thing I will say to guys that are coming over here, you do have the reality of mask wearing. It is significantly less than it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will tell you, though, after being in the States for 3 months, where masks effectively, once you get off the plane, they don't exist. Okay. The only time Gracie and I wore masks when we were back home for the summer was when we went to the Asian market, because they're all wearing them. So it was a social norm, but it wasn't, kind of thing. So up here in Bangkok, you ride the BTS, you go into a 7-Eleven, you got to wear them. Mitch, down in Jomtien, Pattaya, that's right. Where are you guys having to wear masks in the sense that you won't get thrown in jail, but there's a social norm? Like you don't walk around with your fly open, you wear a mask.
Only in an administrative building. Like inside immigration.
Oh, right. Okay.
A clinic, right? But it's still not mandatory. But like Bangkok Pattaya Hospital, you go in there, you're wearing your mask.
Okay.
You better. Yeah.
7-Elevens?
But no. They still, they suggest it, but they don't hold you to it.
Okay.
Macro was a holdout. For a good month and a half.
Okay.
And when I was in there last week or a few days ago, it was, I'm guessing 50% of the people were not wearing masks inside.
Were those people foreigners by majority? Or I guess pretty much only foreigners really shop at Macro. I mean.
Yeah. Foreigners were not wearing.
That seems to be the case here. Gracie and I mean, when you're walking on the Sky Walk as part of the Sky Train, right? The little platform they have underneath, right? The Thais over the majority, certainly more than 51%, are wearing their masks. But I also have Thai friends, and I was talking to one the other day, and they're like, "Oh, what have you been up to?" I said, "I went back to the United States." One of the first questions is, "Oh my God, how free did you feel not having to wear your mask there?" And he's a Thai guy. Right. So obviously there's some news that he's gotten about how free the U.S. is,
Right.
So I get that. And I will say that it is a little bit it does feel a little bit restricting, especially coming from an area where there is zero mask. But I don't know. What's your feeling on that, Mitch? I mean, you just kind of do it. You're like, yeah, whatever. I mean, you don't fuck this hotel. I'm not going to. I don't think you're like.
No, that, if I go in a place and I see people are wearing them, I'd respect that, and I put mine on.
Yeah.
I'm still always carrying a mask, but macro, I'll walk in the door now without a mask, and I just wave at the guard
Right.
at the temperature thing. Their employees are wearing them. 7-Eleven, they're still wearing them.
Right.
Here, at least. But yeah, I do when in Rome, right?
Indeed.
I do that.
Yeah.
Now, when we're traveling and we get up country in places, it's like we all of a sudden notice, wow, they're wearing masks here big time.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of got to be cognizant of that.
Yeah, I agree. I like your attitude on that. And I think that's actually, we'll kind of wrap up on that, is that if you're coming to Thailand, realize that is likely, if you're watching this show and you're thinking about coming to Thailand, there's a high likelihood that the culture here is different than the one that you came from. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't think we have a whole lot of viewers from Laos, or Laos, sorry. But I will say that the opportunity over here is available in a number of areas. It's great to vacation. It's also great to, think about doing something entrepreneurial and starting a business and being a startup and that sort of thing. But with that, I just want to say we're about 90 minutes, and this is pretty much, the show that we do, Mitch. And so, God, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's great.
Much appreciate it, for sure.
Yeah. And,
definitely appreciate it.
We're doing this every Saturday, 8 a.m. Bangkok time, 6 p.m. California time, and 9 p.m. over there in the Philippines. 9 a.m. rather over there in the Philippines. I apologize. But definitely, we don't have enough subscribers just yet on the Spot channel.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. And as of this morning, we had 12. So hopefully I can go back to that later today, and we'll have at least 13. But yeah. With that, it's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com saying I hope you're living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong. Mr.
And Robbie from, there we go, Walking in My Shoes, Thailand, live your best life. You know what, guys? Go where you're treated best, because if you're not living.
Right on. Thanks a lot, Mitch. Thank you again so